Our objective tonight is to know what deepfake is and how it is being used for this information. So to lead our invocation, let me call on first Ana Aborde to lead our invocation and Toastmasters promise.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, let's bow our heads and seek the guidance from God. Dear Lord, thank you so much for your guidance and that we have already started this particular session. Give us your um, guidance so that we will be able to absorb all of the learnings that we can do here in those masters, as well as to be able to provide the same learnings to everyone. Help us, O Lord, to give all our best and all of the Toastmaster activity that we do, and that we leave these sessions full of learnings and joy that we could share to our friends outside of Toastmasters. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. Before we proceed with the Toastmasters promise, let me open the meeting officially. By the trust vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I now officially call this meeting to order. Dear Toastmaster Anna, let's proceed on the Toastmasters promise.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jeff. For the fellow Toastmasters, please raise your right hand as we perform our Toastmaster promise. Please read on together. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and their guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you to Toastmaster Mark. Giving the floor back to our chair.
Thank you, Anna. Again, dear Toastmasters, how are you? How's your life been? So tonight's theme, is it cake or deepfake? Sounds like a fun online game. But behind the humor is a thought-provoking truth. As artificial intelligence advances, so does the challenge of how will we validate the one we are talking to right now in front of you. Whether it's a delicious dessert or a digitally altered video, a Ghibli created pictures, deepfakes may entertain, but they also remind us of how powerful the artificial intelligence is. And as Toastmasters, we are champions of authenticity. That's why tonight, we're not only sharpening our speaking skills, we're also strengthening our values and our knowledge on the latest technologies in the world. So I will not explore or deep dive on deepfakes first because we have the right resource person for tonight. So without further ado, let me call on our Toastmasters of the evening. None other than Miss, our future distinguished Toastmaster Rose Fagia. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Rose.
Good evening, everyone. Let me share my slides one moment. There you go. Can anyone see, or can you all see my screen? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me just minimize my screen for a bit here so I can see everyone. Oh, shucks. Sorry, that was preempted. Okay, what is deep fake? Let's see if you can tell with this little game that I have prepared for us. Now, this game is it fake or is it real? Oops. So, did you see the garlic? Wait, let me play that one more time. There you go. Is that real or is it fake?
That's a cake.
Real.
I think it's a cake.
You think it's a cake? Let me just play the video again.
Oh, it's
The
cake.
garlic is cake. Next item, it's a unicorn. Is that real or is that cake?
Is it?
Anyone?
Cake.
Cake? Let's see. That's a real stress ball.
Cake.
How about this Roomba? I guess this would be easy if it's real or cake. Anyone?
It's real.
Is it
Cake?
real or is it cake?
Is it a vacuum cleaner?
Roomba, yes. That is a cake.
Oh,
Amazing.
at least
Next
it's real.
item.
It's real.
This one is real or is
Yeah,
it cake?
Doritos.
Real.
Love it.
Jeff is determined that this is, yes, that's a real Doritos. The next item, this is a can of silly string. Oh, sorry. Let's try that one more time. Let's go to the silly string. A little more. A little more. There you go. Silly string. Any takers, real or cake?
Cake.
This is, sorry, Toastmaster Emil, that was real. All right, last one. Icing. What is that icing? Is that real or cake?
It's
Want to give it
real.
a try? It's real. Let's see. Oh, that one is cake. All right. Sorry that the video is a bit wonky there. Okay, so you've seen the that video, that game, and I'm not sure how many you got, but that's a bit of an example of what deepfake is. Merriam-Webster defines it as an image or recording that has been convincingly altered and manipulated to misrepresent someone as doing or saying something that was not actually said or done. Now, um, is my screen still sharing? All right. I'm seeing a different screen on my screen that's being shared. And that is the theme for tonight. Toastmaster Mark, can you confirm that your screen is still sharing? Okay, let me share my screen again.
Yes.
Oh, okay, there you go. Is my screen sharing now? Great, perfect. All right, now I have one last item for everyone to figure out if it's real or fake. Here you go. This one. Is this a real cake or is it a real brownie?
That's deep fake.
This is deep fake, really? It's a
Oh,
real brownie. It's a real brownie. It's not cake. It's a trick question, everyone. Okay, I digress. And for me to continue eating my brownie, I will call on our language evaluator for tonight. And that is Toastmaster Mark, is that right? You're the
yes,
language evaluator.
yes.
Okay, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am your
Good
language
evening.
evaluator, and as language evaluator, I will provide you the technical term of the night. For the benefit of our guests, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has this word of the day or word of the night. Sometimes we use idiom of the day or idiom of the night, and sometimes if the theme is technical in nature, we use the technical term of the night or the tech term of the night. So the tech term of the night is deep fake. As what Toastmaster Rose mentioned earlier, from Merriam-Webster's dictionary, deepfake means an image or recording that has been convincingly altered and manipulated to misrepresent someone as doing or saying thing that was not actually done or said. For example, in a sentence, two artists and an advertising company created a deepfake of Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg saying things he never said and uploaded it on Instagram. That is how we use deepfake. So I challenge everyone to use the word deepfake all throughout the session, because if this club, it will be a team activity. If the club mentioned the word deepfake 252 times from the table topic session up to the last prepared speech evaluation, then I will give the club an initial club fund of 100 pesos. Back to you, Toastmaster Rose.
Toastmaster Mark, that is such a lofty goal. So I hope that deep fake.
And you must use it necessarily. And
So what's the target?
252,
252
252 what?
times.
you have to say
Okay.
it necessarily. It should not be a filler word or whatever.
Deep fake.
Okay, let's go deep fake. Let's go deep fake.
It will start on table topics up to the prepared speech, the last prepared speech evaluator.
Well, thank you so much for giving us that impossible goal, Toastmaster Mark. Okay, uh, moving forward, what you see is what you get. You cannot even say that anymore. Sadly, the term deepfake has had sinister beginnings. It was coined back in 2017 by a Reddit user of the same moniker. He used a or created a forum where the users exchanged deepfake pornography they had created using photos of celebrities and open source face swapping technology. Do you remember face swap before it was a trend? And to juggle your memory for face swap, here is a picture of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie using the face swap app. So this was a trend before. So this is what the users use to create malicious content. Okay, for our next segment, you have to swap your face to your brave face because it is time for table topics. Let us all welcome our promising new member, Toastmaster Nikki. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Toastmaster Nikki Crisostomo, and I have the honor of being your table topics master for tonight. But before we delve into the actual segment, let me first discuss what is table topics. So, next slide, please. For the benefit of our future Toastmasters present here tonight, table topics is the impromptu speaking portion of every Toastmaster meeting. It's designed to help us speak clearly and confidently, even without preparation. So each of you who is called, or if we have brave volunteers, will receive a surprise question and has 1 to 2 minutes to respond. Although it sounds like a weight has been put on your back when you answer or when you participate in a table topic session. In Toastmasters, we don't have any pressure at all. It's all about growth, expression, and having fun. But why do we do table topics? Next slide, please. We do table topics because quick thinking or being able to think on your feet is useful everywhere, in school, at work, or for personal development. And to ease the nervousness and to help the speakers organize thoughts quickly, here are some speech patterns that you could use. We have past, present, future. We have the prep method, the point, reason, example, point. We have story, message, gain, or a freestyle. Just let your thoughts flow. With that being said, let us now begin for our first question. Do we have any brave souls who would like to try answering the first question? Okay, going once, going twice. Hearing none, I think I'm gonna call the Toastmaster. Is seasoned Toastmaster Christine is here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you answer po the first question?
What's the for wala? Okay.
Everything looks real. How do you define the truth? When everything looks real, how do you define the truth? I suggest that you use the suggested pattern and the prompt shown on the screen. But if not, that's okay. Take it away, Toastmaster Christine.
Okay. Well, this is a very challenging question. Can I have the question again? Do we have the slide? When everything okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My personality is I don't easily get swayed by what I see, even when it looks real. Okay. And in the past, I think this really worked for me because in business, there are so many potentials. Sometimes you're confronted with things that you thought will turn out into real projects, into income earning projects. But then this doesn't necessarily turn out into something concrete or real. And so I always take precaution. I'm a very cautious person, and whatever I see in front of me, I take it with a grain of salt. So meaning that I wait for things to happen, how it gets developed, what I see, the development, so that I know whether it's getting to be real or it will just become a potential. So it worked for us in the business. Sometimes you get proposals, you get projects, and you think that it's already in the bag. But then I always, and even now that my children are managing the business, I always tell them, always take something with a grain of salt. Do not count any project unless it's in your hands. You have purchase orders in your hands. You see the real thing happening, so that it is the real thing that you will get hold of. So it is better to be cautious, because in life, when you jump into the river, you don't know whether it's deep or it's shallow. But it is better to be careful and to see to see things deeper, and take some time to examine and analyze the situation. So I think it worked for me always in every situation, whether it's business or in my personal endeavors. Good evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christine, for that thoughtful answer. Indeed, we should be mindful of everything presented to us and always exercise caution. Now, for our second question, do we have any volunteer? Okay, going once, going twice. Hearing none. Can I call Toastmaster Jeff, or President Toastmaster Jeff, to answer the second question?
Sir, can we read first the topic?
Okay, the second question is perception is real, truth is not. And this is based on the movie The Kingmaker. Perception is real, truth is not.
What we perceive is not always the one in front. What you can see is not always the real ones. Sometimes when you are commuting, you're taking coffee, you're having breakfast, you will perceive something or daydream what you want to be in the next few minutes, in the next few hours, or the next few years of your life. When we perceive further, we get lost in time. We cannot hold what is real because we are so deep on what we dream that we lost track of what's in front of us. Dear Toastmasters, have you been in a situation where you've been in a deep perception of what you want to be in the future? But at the end, you still did not accomplish what you perceived to be. This statement led us to reflect on the past few times that we have experienced that we daydream, but we did not accomplish what we want to do. What I would like to share to you is whenever you are daydreaming or having lost in track of the reality, take a deep breath, take a pen, have a notebook, write all your goals, achievements, and put a time or duration on when you want to achieve this goal. So we will not lose track of our time, and we can all go back to what we wrote on our notebook and help us accomplish it. Back to you, Toastmaster Nikki.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jeff, for that eye-opening speech. Indeed, reality can sometimes be confusing, which is why it's important for us to stay present to have a better future. Now, for our third question, do we have another volunteer? Do we have any volunteer? Okay, for our third question,
Ako na lang. Sorry.
okay. Who wants to volunteer? Okay. Can I call?
Can you hear me?
Cannot see who's talking.
Master Beth is the one who is volunteering.
Oh, Toastmaster Beth.
Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, Toastmaster Beth. Sorry for that.
Can
Can we
you
ask?
hear? Can you hear me?
Yes po, you're loud and clear, Toastmaster Beth. Okay, so for our third question, what do you prefer? The hard truth or the beautiful lie? What do you prefer? The hard truth or beautiful lie? Beautiful lie. Take it away, Toastmaster Beth.
Imagine receiving a video of yourself showing things that you didn't do. Imagine the president declaring a war. Or imagine a celebrity moving and telling, showing scandal to another scandal. Is it the truth? Is it the truth? Or is it a lie? In this deepfake AI era, misinformation is faster than the facts. So, what remains with us? Misinformation depends not on what we see. Truth is so fragile nowadays. What remains, or the question may remains, the question may pop up. So how do we know the truth? Where even our own faces, our own idols can lie to us. We start from our roots, from our values, because what we have in the age or in this AI deepfake era may not always be the truth. But what remains is our value, our integrity, and our perception of what is true. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Toastmasters, that we still have our own perception of what is true and what is not. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Beth, for that heartfelt reminder. Truly, we must work hand in hand to combat misinformation and disinformation, especially now that the truth is fragile. And now for our fourth question. Please interpret this picture or this editorial cartoon. Can you answer this question, Toastmaster Elise? Please interpret this picture or this editorial cartoon, Toastmaster Elise.
Fellow Toastmasters, deep fake is a tickle to the ears of those hearers. And we have this trend nowadays that tickles our ears, and this is coming from our Marites. And whenever Marites whenever she talks, everyone is on ears. And this is just like the drawing. It just goes on and on and on. And I think it is an implication of a mental health condition. And my perception of a deep fake in regards to the continuous flow, that whenever you start a deep fake story, another false story would add up to it. And that what makes the community, or that what makes the hearers, more inclined to hear, more inclined to add, and more inclined to give another fake stories. And I say, fellow Toastmasters, that we have to be very careful, because the truth will always set us free. We have to adhere to that fact that deep fake you can have the discernment of what a deep fake is, if you only adhere to the truth. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elise, for that full of wisdom speech. Truly, the problem of misinformation is like a domino effect that once it starts, it continues to spread out and cause even more disruption. And now, before I end this session, let me take this time to encourage you to read and understand the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So, little disclaimer, I am not a lawyer or anything. I am just a normal college student who learned about Data Privacy Act of 2012. So, as technology and artificial intelligence continue to evolve, and with tools like deepfakes becoming more rampant, it's more important than ever to become aware of our rights. Let's also make it a habit to read the terms and conditions or the data privacy agreements of the applications we sign up for before we share our personal information. Uh, I'm I am guilty that sometimes I forget or I tend to disregard these agreements because I'm really excited to use the application. But please, let's make it a habit to read them before we sign up. These are, if you like to take a screenshot of this slide, please do so. So these are the mandated guidelines under the Data Privacy Act implementing rules and regulation that we should look for in every agreement or private policy. So before giving your personal data to apps like Gcash, Shopee, or any other platform, any other data uh, controller or processor, make sure you know how to protect your rights and how to act if something goes wrong. Because in a world where, next slide, please. Because in a world where even a cake can look like a shoe or a book, or a voice can be cloned without your knowledge, we need to think before we click. Oh, okay, that's all. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much to our Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Nikki, and to all our participants for Table Topics. Let's all give them another round of applause. Toastmaster Christine, Jeff, Betchay, and Elise. Thank you so much for participating. And we will move on to the next segment of our program. I would be remiss if I did not brush upon the benefits and the perils of deepfake. Deepfake was, let me share my screen again. There you go. Deepfake found their use in the movie industry. So this has been used more than marked 242 times. And a good example of this is the movie Fast and the Furious 7 with the lead star Paul Walker. He met his untimely death during filming, and they managed to shoot the remaining scenes using his brothers as stand-ins, and they superimposed Paul's face onto the brothers. There you go. There's a picture of that, and it is somewhat creepy. So another benefit of deepfake is that in documentaries, it can be made more interesting with this technology. Imagine Cleopatra as Cleopatra and not Elizabeth Taylor. There you go. You can also see Jesus and Queen Elizabeth. So education can be enhanced through these types of simulation. Applications for military and healthcare are also being explored. As for the negative points, let me reiterate, a tool is as good as its user. So it can only be as bad as the hand who wields it. So deepfake sadly has fell into internet miscreants, and it can be used for scams, say using voice changers. It can also violate your privacy, as our Toastmaster Nikki has said, and it can, of course, create and spread misinformation. Here is an example.
Dress, but someone else would.
Okay.
Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. Stay woke, bitches.
So that is an example of a deep fake. So thankfully that is a campaign by BuzzFeed to inform us of what deepfake can do. Now moving to our next segment. Our next set of speakers are guaranteed to be real. Here in our prepared speeches segment, we will put into practice the tool that we have, that is Pathways, to good use. Our first speaker, he is taking the dynamic leadership path, and this is his icebreaker speech, and the purpose of which is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a speech. His speech will run for 4 to 6 minutes and will be evaluated by Toastmaster Jeff. The title of his speech is Path to Growth.
I think
Let us all
he's
welcome.
evaluated by Toastmaster Mark. The distinguished Toastmaster Mark.
I have made a mistake. Thank you for correcting me, Toastmaster Mark. Toastmaster John will be evaluated by Toastmaster Mark. And let's all welcome him with his speech entitled Path to Growth. Toastmaster John, the stage is yours.
Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. This quote resonates deeply with me because, like many people, I've experienced changes I didn't ask for, and some I did. But the decision to grow from those changes, that was always mine to make. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm John Centeno, and tonight, let me take you on a little journey of my life, my path to growth, and what led me here. I grew up in an environment where everything felt familiar. As a child, I was more of an observer than a speaker. I wasn't the type to raise my hand in class or to take the lead in group activities. But instead, I spent a lot of time in front of a computer. I learned how to use one at an early age and quickly got into video games. Most of my free time was spent either playing or exploring things online. That became my comfort zone. Comfortable, fun, and familiar. Over time, what started as a hobby turned into something more. I became curious about how computers work and how things are built. In school, I joined a couple of coding competitions, and to my surprise, I actually won some of that. But there was downside to being good at coding. While other students worked in groups for projects, I was often assigned individual projects by my teacher. At times, it felt a bit isolating. I didn't have the opportunity to collaborate with others, which meant I missed out on that important experience of teamwork. But at the same time, it pushed me to grow and find ways to manage on my own. Those moments gave me a sense of direction. They helped me realize that maybe this was something I could pursue seriously. That interest eventually led me to choose a career in software development. Eventually, I landed my first job as a software developer. It was exciting, finally getting to do what I had studied for. But I quickly realized that the job was not just about writing code. There were meetings, discussions, and moments when I had to speak up, give feedback, or present ideas. Those situations were tough for me. I struggled to express myself clearly, and sometimes I avoided speaking even when I had something to say. And then one of our directors suggested to try Toastmasters. At first, I was not sure what to expect, but the idea of getting better communication, of being able to speak with more clarity and confidence, stayed with me. I knew that is something I wanted to work on. Since then, I've been learning to approach challenges differently. I started saying yes to the things I usually avoid, like starting conversations or taking small leadership roles. It hasn't always been smooth. Yeah, but those small steps began to build something in me, a quiet confidence to keep going. That journey led me here. I joined Toastmasters because I want to keep growing, to become more confident, more expressive, and more comfortable being myself in front of others. And throughout my journey, I have faced challenges, stepped outside my comfort zone, and it started to grow in ways I never expected. Looking back, I realized that 5 years ago, I would have never imagined myself joining something like this or standing here delivering a speech. I know I still have a long way to go, but I'm excited to walk that path. I've taken the first step by joining this club, and I can't wait to see where this path leads next. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much to our first speaker, Toastmaster John. That was a speech that's full of promise, and I hope that you are starting to feel more confident about yourself with our meetings here. Right. Moving on to our second speaker. Our second speaker is, let's see here, one moment, is also on her icebreaker speech, and she is doing presentation mastery as her path. The purpose of the icebreaker again is to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Again, it is for 4 to 6 minutes, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Jeff this time. And the title of her speech is Leadership in the Mirror. Let us all welcome our new member again, Toastmaster Beth Laguitan. Toastmaster Beth, the stage is yours.
We search for leaders in books, on stages, in boardrooms. But what if the leaders we have been waiting for is the one staring back at you in the mirror? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me ask you something. Have you ever believed you were doing something right, only to later wonder if you were the villain in someone else's story? That question changed how I see leadership, because I used to think leadership meant leading people to victory. But now I believe leadership doesn't begin with others. It begins with reflection that can amplify our awareness and growth. My first taste of leadership wasn't in the boardroom. It was in high school as a student council officer. I was eager, idealistic, deeply afraid of disappointing people. But I didn't understand then that you don't have to be popular. It's that the true leadership is about responsibility. The responsibility that makes tough decisions, even when they don't make everyone happy. Later on, I was elected Sangguniang Kabataan Chairman. That stakes felt higher. Suddenly, there were decisions that can magnify trust or diminish it. But it wasn't until years later, when I became a manager, that I truly understood the weight of leadership. In 2020, when the pandemic struck, everything I thought I knew was put to test. I wasn't just leading a team anymore. I was navigating an unpredictable storm. A decision had to be made. Who stays and who goes? Imagine working or looking into the eyes of people who had given their time, their energy, and loyalty, knowing that you had to decide their fate, their livelihoods, their futures. It was harder and very hard on my part, knowing that no matter what decision I made, someone would feel abandoned. I remember the feeling, the weight of that choice. And I knew I had to rise above personal feelings and be objective. And yet, as we push through and realize that even though I had made what I believe was the right decision, the impact of leadership is never fully in our control. It was in this moment that I learned my first critical lesson. Leadership isn't about pleasing everyone. It's making courageous decisions that fortify our values, even when they come at a personal cost. I learned that it's about accepting unintended consequences of your decisions. Sometimes, no matter how carefully you plan things, it won't turn out as expected, and you'll hurt people along the way. But the key is owning those decisions and learning from them. That's how we grow. And we didn't just survive, we thrive. And even today, I still wonder, what if in someone else's story, I wasn't the leader who saved them, but the one who let them down? What if my decision left scars I'll never see? That's when I realized something even deeper about leadership. True leadership isn't about being right in everyone's version of their story. It's about owning your missteps and learning from them in a way that elevates both yourself and others. It's a journey of constant evolution. I am Beth, a leader by profession, a challenger by nature, and a woman was stared into the mirror, not for perfection, but for truth. And here's the truth. There have been moments where I've questioned my own leadership decisions, wondering if I've been the villain in someone else's story. But I've learned that leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. So as you look into the mirror, ask yourself, not who you lead, but how you lead. Because in the end, the most powerful leadership begins not with applause, but with the quiet conviction in your own reflection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Betcha. That is a powerful icebreaker speech. I appreciate that you gave us your views on leadership and your experiences on that. All right, moving forward to our third speaker. She is on her persuasive influence path, level 4.2. It is the question and answer session project, the purpose of which is to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. Time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes for the speech, plus time for the question and answer segment. She will be evaluated by no other than distinguished Toastmaster Christine with the speech entitled Financial Needs Analysis. Let us all welcome Toastmaster Armel Gutierrez.
Life is short and death is certain. That is the reality of life. All of us will pass through the same circle. When uncertainties happen, the question is, are you ready? Are you prepared? Fellow Toastmasters and friends, tonight I will talk about your financial wealth, your peace of mind, and your love legacy called life insurance. Did you know that many Filipinos are having a hard time or do not want to have a life insurance because of various reasons? First is for the financial constraints. Second is for the cultural and personal factors. Third is for the misconception or lack of understanding. When we talk about the financial constraints, it includes the limited budget and prioritizing the basic needs. Did you know that poverty in the Philippines is 22.4%? This is according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Many Filipinos are having a hard time making the ends meet. That's why there is only a little room for insurance premium. And of course, we prioritize the basic needs like food, education, and house over insurance. And when we talk about cultural and personal factors, some Filipinos still believe in the bahala na mentality. They rely on the faith, forgetting the planning for the future. And some of them even believe in superstitions. They believe that discussing risk or talking about insurance is attract bad luck. And the third reason is the misconception and lack of understanding. They thought that insurance is only for the wealthy. Many believe that life insurance is a luxury only the rich can afford, but that is not true because insurance plans are tailored fit on the income levels of each person. Limited financial literacy. There is a lack of understanding of how life insurance works. This was not taught in college days, wherein it is very important. So I hope this will be included in the curriculum. Tonight, as your insurance advisor, I will help you understand on how life insurance works according to your needs, goals, and targets. Let us have a financial needs analysis at a glance. I will share my PowerPoint. Oh, wait. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Financial needs analysis at a glance. The objective is to present a brief, concise evaluation of an individual's financial situation, goals, and risks to determine your financial needs and requirements. Why do you need to have a financial needs analysis in getting your life insurance coverage? FNA is, in layman's term, this is your financial wealth check. You have your doctor with you to check your body health, and also you have your insurance advisor to check your financial wealth check, to check your wealth, to check your pocket. Why? Why do you have to check that? Because you need this to know your insurance, your income continuation needs, because life insurance is your replacement for lost income. We will check your pocket or your wealth check because you would like to know how much is the coverage you want for the accident and health protection needs, and also for the education needs of your children. The tuition fee, for example, the tuition fee in the USD is 100,000 pesos. Let us check how much is the tuition fee for USD after 10 years, after 15 years, or after 18 years. And also, I would like you to check, let us check the retirement needs, your retirement needs, because research shows that among 100 men reaching the age of 60, 45% depend on relatives, 30% rely on charity, 23% are still working on it, and only 2% are financially secure. My source is from the Ask 20. We also need to know your estate tax or your planning for your estate. Why? Because it creates an immense asset to help cover your estate taxes. It also provides the settlement for the debts of your loved ones, to offer financial security after you pass away. In getting the financial needs analysis, I will be using this table, this picture, or this paper. I call this prescription paper. When your doctor prescribe a medication to you, me as your insurance advisor will have this prescription to you, the KYP, or Know Your Priority. In this example, I will check on the details of my clients, and also I have these different goals or targets of the clients, and later on, we will learn on each of these categories. Checking the factor to be used is the financial needs analyzer. Later on, we will try to compute on the future tuition fee of the kids and also compute for the retirement. I will use this table to know the factor for the tuition fee of the children, as well as the alternative inflation factors for retirement. On your left side is the alternative rate factors for education. And on your right side is the alternative inflation factors for retirement. This is the example of the prescription paper. For example, my client's name is Jerry Fajardo. He is 35 years old, a non-smoker, married with a 3-year-old son. He would like to know his income continuation or to compute for the bridge income. I asked him, Sir Jerry, what is your family's monthly average household expenses? And he told me their household expenses monthly is 50,000 pesos. I asked him, out of the 50,000 pesos, how much is your contribution for the budget? He said that his contribution is 30,000 pesos. And then I multiplied it to 120 months to get the 10-year period. And the answer is 3.6 million. Ideally, this is the initial coverage of surgery for the income replacement. And I also asked him, the remaining 20,000 is shouldered by her wife. I multiplied it to 120 months to get the 10-year period, and the answer is 2.4 million. These are the ideal bridge income fund for Jerry and his wife. Now I ask him also, what is your ideal fund for your critical illness? And he said, in the event of the critical illness, he wants to have a contingency fund of 1 million pesos. Now, for his 3-year-old son, David. David is only 3 years old. The number of years before age 18 is 15 years. He said that he would like to send his son David to UST. The current tuition fee in UST is, for example, 100,000 pesos. Now, I got this sum factor from the table. Here it goes. You will look on the left side of the table. This is the alternative rate factors for education. On the first column, you can see the number of fees before age 18. The answer is 15, right? Because of the K-12, the age of your son in the first year college is 18 years old. So 15, 16, 17, 18. 15 is for the first year college, 16 second year, 17 is for the third year, and 18 is for the fourth year. Here are the factors for the 8%. The factor for year 15 is 3.17, while for year 16 is 3.43. For year 17 is 3.70, and for 18 is 4. Why do we have to get the factor? It is for us to know how much is the future value of 100,000 15 years from now. So I will multiply 3.17 to 100,000, and the answer is 317,000. This is the future tuition fee after 15 years. After 16 years, the 100,000 will become 343,000. After 17 years, 100,000 today will become 370,000. For 18, 100,000 today will become 400,000. To add this all, it is 1,430,000 pesos. In getting this, you will have the idea on how you can prepare for your child's education using this table. Again, my source is from the Ask 20. If you would like to know your retirement, I asked client Jerry. His age is 35 years old, and he would like to retire at age 60. And he wants to have the monthly budget of 50,000. So 50,000, I got the 2.67 factor from the analyzer. Yan. So I'm sorry, this is, maybe you cannot see this, medyo maliit. But that is the factor. Jerry still has 25 years before getting the age of 60. So I look the factor here, the difference is 25. For example, I would like to know his retirement after 25 years at 4%. The factor is 2.65. So 50,000 monthly times 2.67, the answer is 133,500. I will multiply it for 12 months. The answer is 1,602,000 pesos. Then I have to divide this to the 5% interest. What is the 5% interest? This is, I will ask the client if they are aware of any investment instruments and what the average annual return is. In this example, let us assume that the client wants to use 5% as an example. So 1.6 million divided by 5, the answer is 32 million. This is the ideal retirement fund. This is too much, right? But then at least he has the idea on how to survive the 50,000 pesos on his retirement years. Did you know that the best time to get a health plan is while you are still healthy? This means that you will never experience or encounter any medical at all, or you do not have any pre-existing condition yet. And the best time to get insured is while you are still insurable. Let us bear in mind that not every insurance application is approved. Many are not approved because of the health condition, because of age. And the best time to get a college plan is while the kids are still in preschool, so that you will have lots of time preparing for it. And the best time to prepare for the retirement is while you are still young. Remember that it is an advantage to have a life insurance while you are still young because it is approved and that you can have a long-term plan. And the best time to invest is while you are still earning. Again, this came from Ariel Manyala, another insurance advisor, and he calls it Ask 20. Now, after my presentation, you may ask question. I may entertain 2 or 3 questions later. Now, to give you the summary of my presentation, again, the question is, you need to have a financial needs analysis. In layman's terms, the FNA is to check your financial wealth. Why do you have to know this? This is because you want to know your income continuation needs, your accident and health protection needs, the education needs of your children, your retirement needs, and also your estate tax. In doing so, I will help you with this prescription paper wherein the common details needed are also here with different category. Again, just like a doctor, wherein he has his own prescription, as your insurance advisor, I also have my prescription pad. This is what we call the Know Your Priority or KYP. The financial needs analyzer, this is so helpful, the table that I've shown you. This is to help you compute for the future tuition fee of your children as well as to compute for their retirement. That is the end of my report. I hope I added value to all of you regarding the importance of life insurance. Now, the floor is open for any question regarding my presentation. You may unmute or raise your hand if in case you have any questions regarding the talk or the presentation.
Toastmaster Armel, I have a question.
Yes, Toastmaster Rose.
What if your client, they do not know their monthly expenses and they don't know their goals for their retirement? What do you say?
If the client does not know the expenses or they do not know yet what are their goals, as their insurance advisor, I will help them or guide them. I will ask them certain questions and then we will come up with the expenses. For example, I will ask her, "Hi, Rose." Because it is easy to ask the amount of the expenses instead of the income. Some clients do not tell the income. It is much easier to ask the expenses. "Rose, how much is your Meralco bill monthly?"
10,000.
10,000. Oh, see, it is easy to check on your expenses. What about your grocery or your market? In the simple questions that I'll be asking the client, it is easy for me to know their expenses. Then asking Rose, "May I know your income monthly?"
Do you ask? My income monthly, it varies. I'm a freelancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I hope,
I have a question.
yes.
What if they're living beyond their means? Can you tell if they're
Yes.
living beyond their means?
If they are living beyond their means. For example, I already computed the
But you
basic
tell, yeah.
budget, and then I will ask, "Oh, this is the total budget that you will be needing monthly." For example, 30,000 because of the list. And how much is your earning? Just you say na, just enough. The answer is just enough. And then I will tell him, if your income is only 30,000 and then your expenses is also 30,000, zero savings, right? But if you're earning 50,000 pesos and your expenses is 30,000, you will have a savings of 20,000 pesos monthly. Then maybe this savings can be put onto your insurance coverage. What do you want to have? The insurance with investment or the educational insurance for your children? It depends. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Armel. Yeah.
Hello, Toastmaster Armel. I have a question.
Hi, Toastmaster Jeff.
Uh, if you're planning to have a baby, can you insure them already?
If your baby is 7 days old, yes, we can insure your baby, the baby. But then the priority is to insure first the parents before the baby.
Okay, for example, I have already an insurance. So does it mean I have to apply myself as I'm the one who writes to the insurance, or is it under the name of the baby?
Since the baby is still a minor, you as the
Mm-hmm.
father is the initial owner. You is the owner.
Mm-hmm.
You are the owner of the insurance, and then the insured is the baby until
Okay. Mm-hmm.
he gets on the age 18. Minor na siya, so we can transfer the insurance to him.
Oh, okay, got it. So when he reached the legal age, it will be transferred to him. Is
Yes.
that right? Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Arnold.
Welcome. And Any more question? Oh, my time is blazing red. I hope I answered your question, Toastmaster Rose and Jeff. And that is the end of my talk this evening. For any question, just message me and I will get back to you ASAP. Now, this time, I would like to return the control back to our beautiful Toastmaster of the evening, Rose, Director Rose.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Armel, for your question and answer portion. Okay, let us give our prepared speakers a round of applause again. Two icebreaker speeches from Toastmaster Beth, Toastmaster John, and then a Q&A from Toastmaster Armel. Thank you so much for delivering your speeches tonight. Now, I don't think we have time for a break, so I will continue. Now, the question that we can ask is, how can we spot deep fakes? Let me share my screen one more time. There you go. Here are a few tips on how we can spot deep fakes. Now, the image would be, the background would be warped. There are inconsistencies. There would be distortions. It would be most of the time blurred and not clear. And there's poor lip syncing and the eyes are not syncing as well. So that's usually the part that moves, right? The eyes and the lips. And there you go. The shadows, if you can see the lighting, they're inconsistent as well. So most of the time there are inconsistencies in the photos or the videos. And also, one way to check is to check the source, if it's from a credible source or not. Then you can say that it's possible that it may be a deep fake. All right, the next part of our program, let me stop sharing. The next part of our program is to help us spot the really good points that our participants made and those that we can improve upon in our general evaluation portion. Now let us all welcome our general evaluator for tonight. She is our Club Growth Director. She is a dual member of Solo Toastmasters Club. Let us all welcome Toastmaster Susie to the floor.
I thought there's one more speaker. I'm so sorry, but hello, hello, hello. So I just thought, those days we were just conscious or thinking about fake bags, fake whatever. But now, even the information and the news that we get could be fake also. So maybe this is really a very challenging time, especially that we are all the time in social media. So I don't really click easily everything that I see in Facebook or in whatever social media app that I have. So I am so happy to join you for the very first time. Congratulations, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. I checked that you had, in fact, a net growth of 3. Your base was 20 and you're now 23, and you've all met 10 goals. Wow. A round of applause for you, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. And as your general evaluator, I am here to share to you my observations tonight and to lead my co-evaluators in their evaluation also tonight. So very first thing that I would like to commend is the newsletter. So usually when I'm scheduled to become the GE and the program is sent and I open it at, oh, it's a program. I'll go back to it before the meeting. But this time, I received a newsletter. It's really caught my attention and I went over it. I read everything. So kudos to the one or the person or persons in charge of this newsletter. It reminded me of the same thing that my club, Davao Noontime, had before pandemic. It was not resurrected yet. Maybe I will remind also my clubmates to bring back the newsletter. So I'd like to suggest one difference that your newsletter has from ours is that we usually have the highlights of the previous meeting. Like the portion is called What You Missed Last Meeting. So that's just a suggestion I'm just sharing to you. But all in all, very, very informative and very interesting newsletter. That's very wonderful. And there are 15 in the meeting room. Very good attendance. Congratulations. And so I also love your opening billboard. The video is not too long. So I love it. Just perfect for the opening preliminaries of our meeting. So before I proceed to other observations, I would like to call the very first co-evaluator I have with me tonight to share us her, I'm sorry, I haven't met Chris, her or his, to listen to Chris's evaluation of the table topics portion. A round of applause to Toastmaster Chris Sevillejo.
Thank you, TM Suzette. I get that all the time. Don't worry. It's not new to me. I always get the male Chris with an H or with a K, so it's fine. All right. Really had a wonderful and really amazing impromptu speaker tonight. So let me just get into it. So first of all, TM Christine. Hi, TM Christine. I think it's been a while since we've met during one of our TM sessions. As always, you're one of our experienced Toastmaster, and your impromptu speech truly highlighted the ease and confidence with which you deliver your thoughts. Your response to the question, when everything looks great, how do you define the truth, was particularly inspiring. You reminded us to take things with a grain of salt, and you didn't just share this wisdom with us. You also connected it to a personal story demonstrating how you apply this lesson with your own family. I really appreciate how seamlessly you incorporated that brief personal anecdote into your speech. It added a wonderful personal touch, and I believe expanding on it could have further strengthened the connection with your audience. Overall, your delivery was impactful, and you left us with a meaningful takeaway by exercising caution. So, thank you, TM Christine. For President Jeff, although I'm not relatively new with Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I'm turning 1 year this year, so how great is that? Tonight I could clearly see the progress you've made with your impromptu speaking. I admire how you take pauses to organize your thoughts and align them with the topic. While your speech was already effective, sharing a personal story to support your points could make it even more powerful. Overall, President Jeff, your message was inspiring, and you ended it with a compelling challenge for us to list down our dreams and perceptions in order to keep track of things, especially in a world where, as you rightly said, what we see is not always the truth. So congratulations, TM Jeff. For TM Betchay, I truly, truly admire your courage in volunteering as an impromptu speaker during our table topics, which is not that doesn't usually happen. So whenever we hear, okay, we're doing a table topic session, we're like, okay, we're just like students bowing our heads, being silent and not wanted to be called, but you take the courage and volunteered. So Kudos to you for stepping up. I also want to commend you for your confidence, for owning the space as you deliver your speech, and for taking thoughtful pauses to organize your thoughts. I see great potential in you as a speaker, and with a little more practice, you can refine your delivery even more further. One suggestion would be to maintain more eye contact during your delivery of your speech. I know it can be challenging in a virtual setting, but with the practice, we can all do this together. Additionally, consider incorporating a personal story as well in your speech so that it will be more engaging and it will also support your points as you deliver your speech. But se- everything I said, you did an excellent job, and I'm excited to hear more from you on our future Toastmasters meetings. So congratulations, TM Beth. For TM Elise, not a bad hair day, so don't worry about it, TM Elise. You know what? I'm not really surprised at how you crafted such an engaging introduction for your speech. I remember your previous speech before when you were about health. It was very engaging. And when you started your speech earlier, drawing the connection between the marites and the image shared, it was really connecting. That was incredibly witty. Your delivery was confident and clear, and while there's nothing to question about how well you spoke, I believe adding a personal story could have made it even more impactful because you already started with the Marites, right? So weaving in a personal example of how misinformation can spiral out of control would have deepened the connection with your audience. But overall, TM Elise, you did an excellent job and your speech was both entertaining and insightful. And of course, not last but not least is for TM Nikki. When you facilitated the table topics for tonight, it feels like it's not your first time. So congratulations. You kicked off the session with great enthusiasm, with a lot of energy, and clearly explaining what the table topic session is about, which is good, especially if we have new members or if we have guests around who is not familiar with it. You made it even more engaging when you added the benefits of the impromptu speaking. You were fantastic all throughout and even offering insightful feedback even after the each speaker's turn. One small suggestion for improvement would be to mention the timing rules during the session. This would help first-time speakers or guests understand the meaning of the green, the yellow, the red signals when they appear on the screen. I'm not sure if our timer was introduced during the beginning or maybe this is something that I might have missed earlier. But overall, TM Nikki, you did an outstanding job and I look forward to more your facilitations on our upcoming our future Toastmaster sessions. So that's it. Over to you or back to you, TM Suzette.
Nice to meet you, Toastmaster Chris, Lady Chris. Hello, and hope to see you again. Wow, you gave a thorough evaluation of every speaker tonight. So I love that you really give sincere compliments. You're very motivating and you give tactful suggestions. So that's all that I've observed in your evaluation tonight. So thank you so much for that. And I agree with your suggestion to the table topics master about mentioning the time mechanics. I actually noted that. And because it would really be helpful to the speakers and especially to the new ones. And I also have suggestion to our table topics master. First, I love that you really gave clear instructions how to tackle the question or the topic. And then my suggestion would be, as mentioned, do not forget to mention the time mechanics. And then I felt it would really be more exciting if you present the topic first before calling the reactors, because by that, you have everybody think on their feet, because maybe they will be the one called. So that I hope next time you call the person or call volunteers first before presenting and especially reading the topic. So there are reactors who actually ask for it. So please read or introduce the topics first. In fact, we're told to just read twice before calling people to react. And another wonderful thing I observed from you is that give you gave concise segues or comments every after reactors. I love that. Oh, and in fact, you used or borrow some phrases or ideas from the reactors. So congratulations to our table topics master tonight. And we also have speeches tonight. And to help me evaluate the first one, may I call somebody who's been very enthusiastic and very helpful, reminding me of reminding me to attend this meeting tonight. Please welcome Toastmaster Mark Edrada.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and good evening, Toastmaster John. Delivering an icebreaker speech is like a seed. You need to water it until the roots grow deeper and the tree gets taller. Toastmaster John, I commend you on the entire speech you have delivered. You were brave enough to deliver a speech, your first ever speech in Toastmasters, and it's my pleasure to be your first ever evaluator here on Toastmasters as an organization. You delivered your speech successfully because you were successful in fulfilling the objective of introducing yourself to the club. Second, as for the content itself, you focused only on one main idea and you did not divert to several branches of idea, and that made me follow your entire message. And third, the basic parts of the message, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion were evident in 4 to 6 minutes of your speaking time. Now, I would like to water your speech so that it would grow deeper, it would grow wider, and it would grow taller by having these suggestions. First, when delivering a speech online, be conscious of the camera and be sure to look at the camera instead of looking at the screen so that you promote connection to your audience. Second, unleash the real personality in you by being excited, by being relaxed in delivering a speech. Earlier, I noticed that you delivered a line that says it was exciting. That particular line, it was exciting. You could say it was exciting so that you can unleash the real you in public speaking. And so that you will get away with all the shyness that you have had. And third, I would like to challenge you to gradually deliver more personal stories because by doing so, we can know more about you. You being our youngest member or newest member in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. To summarize, you were successful in fulfilling the objective of introducing yourself. You focus on one idea, and the basic parts of the message were evident. And you can do more by being conscious on the camera, by unleashing your real personality, and by delivering more speeches, personal messages, so that we can know you more. Toastmaster John, approach us, your mentors here in Toastmasters. We are family in here, and get more value from Toastmasters than what you're paying for. So let your roots grow deeper and your tree grow taller here in Toastmasters. By doing speeches every meeting and by attending our weekend mentoring sessions. Back to you, Chair Evaluator Susit.
Yeah, thank you for that organized evaluation, Toastmaster Mark. And I appreciate that you touched both on the delivery and the organization of the speech. Like when you said that the speech was focused on one topic, and then you had suggestion on how to improve the appearance or the way of the delivery of the speaker. So also thank you so much for mentioning or evaluating based on the objective. And I have no suggestion. I haven't thought of suggestion for you as an evaluator, but I'd like to move on to the other roles you had tonight. So first, you in the call something that was actually negligible omission. You forgot to call the meeting to order at first. We proceeded to the invocation and pledge. No, I just don't know, but usually it's invocation and pledge together. But what you did was when you automatically interrupted the invocation leader and the one who would lead us the pledge, and you called the meeting to order in between. So maybe a suggestion is you just let her finish first, go on with the parts of the invocation and the pledge, and then so before you call the meeting to order, to like so that there will be no interruption or cutting off. So and then you as the word master, I love your enthusiasm, the fearless challenge to use the word 252 times, and then your generosity to give 100 pesos. So to make your portion more daring, I always love the idea of calling people to use the word or the phrases in a sentence. So it adds challenge and more learning in the meeting. So that's just my only suggestion for you. Thank you so much for all the roles that you had in this meeting. And let me proceed to the invocation and pledge. So hello, the one who led us. I loved your brief and sincere invocation. And a suggestion, next time, I felt that you abruptly recited the prayer. So maybe you could start by inviting us to a prayerful mode. Invite us to bow down our heads, or maybe just a moment of silence or a pause before really starting the prayer. But I also loved how you led the pledge. It was not chaotic in a way. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, thank you so much thank you so much to our leader of the invocation and the pledge. A round of applause to her. So let me proceed to Jeff. I I'm s- I couldn't get the role of Jeff. This is something new to me, but I suppose he's like the herald's call. So to have the participants settled and to make them ready before the start of the program. I suppose that's that. So thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Jeff. You have a very wonderful presence, and I loved how you incorporated the topic tonight in your spills. So it's nice to meet you, Toastmaster Jeff. And this time, let me call another speech evaluator to evaluate the second speaker. Please welcome Toastmaster Jeff Robles.
Thank you, PM Susit. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and to you, PM Beth. Congratulations on successful delivery of your icebreaker speech. So your speech leadership in the mirror was captivating for me. At first, when I saw it on the invitation of distinguished Toastmaster Mark. One line that deeply resonated with me is leadership begins with your own reflections that amplifies awareness. That alone is powerful on your speech and so true. So tonight, he reminded us that leadership isn't just about guiding others, it's also about understanding ourselves first. He also said leaders make tough decisions, even if it might hurt everyone. And that hit me hard, PM Beth. Because in our workplaces, in our businesses, or even here in Toastmasters, growth often takes courage because you have to tap the back of your colleague, your co-Toastmaster, and tell him what is right. Courage to choose what is right over what is easy. Thank you, Toastmaster Beth. Your speech is very inspiring. I recommend. I love the usage of your personal story. You were honest, vulnerable, and real. And I always commend the use of personal story because it connects you to your audience. I love also your round and steady voice because having this kind of clarity in your voice is something we'd love to hear more on your future speeches. I also commend the use of your natural hand movements because it emphasizes key moments during the delivery of your key statements. This is an inspiring and wonderful speech to embed. And what I would like to recommend to improve it further is the use of your camera. We are on online Zoom meeting, but would love to seeing speakers see their eyes on the screen so we can connect with you deeply. It builds connection directly when we can see your eyes through the screen. Next would be, you have a beautiful voice, Beth, but I encourage you to experiment more with tone and the pacing. The one you said is, for example, you need to savor those quotable quotes. You have said, it is not on the missteps, it's on the journey of evolution. That's a quotable quote, Beth, and I want you to savor that statement when you deliver it to your audience. Overall, Toastmaster Beth, you brought us on the reality of leadership and not on the deepfake. Congratulations, Beth, on delivering your icebreaker speech. You have achieved the objective of the structuring of your speech, and would love to hear more speeches from you on the future. Congratulations, Beth, and back to you, PM Susie.
Yes. What I loved about you in your evaluation, Toastmaster Jeff, is you had specific or particular examples in every points that you gave, be it in the points to improve on and also in your suggestions. So you had specific examples to that. So thank you so much. I actually noted here to mention also the objective, but you did it before you ended it. So very good. Thank you so much for your evaluation. And let's proceed to the third evaluator. It's always a pleasure to listen to seasoned evaluator. And this time, let's wait no more. Please welcome Toastmaster Christine Temblique.
Thank you, Susit. It's nice to see you here, and my attendance was just in time because I have been absent for quite some time. Okay, but Armel, thank you for allowing me to evaluate you tonight. And I'd like to start with why your topic why I appreciate your topic, because it's relevant, it's appropriate for the people who are attending here, and it's definitely helpful. I can speak from experience because I can relate. At my age, I have actually done what you have advised in the content of your speech. But definitely, you have also you had an excellent organization, because you started with the purpose of your financial analysis, or why there is the need for insurance. The body of your speech is composed of presenting your data and statistics, and actually showing an example of the present. If you are this present, let's say it's you need 100,000 for the college, and then how will it be 15 years after, assuming that your child is 3 years old now, and then so the jump from 100,000 to 400,000, I mean, it's something that will already boggle your mind, right? So that means you created the need for the insurance. So, and actually you gave us an advice, so you showed us really the need, and you concluded with an advice on when to get the insurance, or definitely the need on when to get the insurance, of course. So it's a complete cycle. You close the cycle in itself. How can I help you improve the presentation? Because I know I've encountered several insurance presentation, and definitely there is something that you need to do in order to convince and persuade the client. Okay, how can you improve? First, create the need. I mean, sound excited, because I know you're very calm and always so natural, but create the excitement of why I'm offering you an insurance. Okay, your visuals now, but I suggest that you create a more creative visual to create the interest from those who are listening and those who are watching. I mean, it will be easily understandable and comprehensive if there is some creativity in your visuals. Okay. And for our purpose, I suggest that you create a more brief presentation, because like I was looking at the small font or numbers of your presentation, and I can seem to decipher some of the numbers, but you presented it and it seems like there's a double presentation when you presented again those visuals twice in your speech. Okay, now another suggestion is, if you are presenting that there is a difficulty, or let's say your expenses, your difficulty, your level of income, now create the need on how you can help them. I didn't see that in your presentation. Okay, so create the need. How can you help them? And because you said that every need can be patterned after their expenses or their personal needs. So create that need and offer that help to them. Now, with regards to Q&A, I believe that there were only 2 questions, but you answered them directly. And I think you have satisfied the people who asked the questions by answering them directly, and also addressing them for what they have from the questions that they have asked you. So congratulations, and I hope you will be very successful in your presentation in the future. Okay, may now return the control to our general evaluator, Susit.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Christine, for that. I loved how you had specific points in your suggestion and the points to improve on. My suggestion for you is maybe to make it, maybe arrange it or in a more organized way next time, so it's easy for us to follow. But I love that you really had, I love that you had specific examples also, and a lot of suggestions on how the speaker can improve. And I agree on most of your suggestions. But thank you so much for the evaluation, Toastmaster Christy. Yes, I'm on mute. So we're done with the speech evaluation, and on the most parts of the meeting, we're down to the technical evaluators. And the first one I'm going to call is somebody who's going to do his fourth role. So let's listen to the language evaluation, our grammarian tonight. Welcome again, Toastmaster Mark.
Hello once again. The reason that it's my fourth rule because I'm the backup rule taker. So many of our fellow Toastmasters were not able to attend this meeting. Anyway, for the purpose of for the benefit of our guests, language evaluation is a portion in Toastmasters in which we are identifying the gems and the germs. What do we mean by gems and the germs? Gems are the grammatical lapses that we need to be cautious of next time. And then gems are the quotable quotes that our fellow Toastmasters had thought of before delivering their quotable lines or pickup lines. So before I mention the gems and the germs portion, let me get to the technical term of the night. So we had the deepfake, and as mentioned earlier, for us to have our 100 pesos as an addition to our club fund, we should have mentioned the word deepfake 252 times. And we are fortunate that we have mentioned it several times, actually 9 times. Toastmaster Beth mentioned it twice, Toastmaster Elise once, Toastmaster Rose 5 times, and Toastmaster Jeff once. That was the mention of deepfake from the table topics portion until the third prepared speech evaluation. Now, for the germs or grammatical lapses, we are fortunate because it seems that I haven't heard somebody saying grammatical lapses for tonight's meeting. And we are doing well for that one. It's a teamwork because actually it's teamwork and individually we were mindful of what we're saying. And then third, for the gems, the quotable quote. So from distinguished Toastmaster Christine, she mentioned, when you jump in the river, you do not know if it is deep or shallow. So exercise everything with caution. And from Toastmaster Elise, she said, when we start a false story, another false story will add up to it. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for delivering these speeches, and I was able to filter the gems, the germs, and the technical term of the night. Back to you, distinguished Toastmaster Susit.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mark. So this is also my first time to encounter a motion evaluator or an evaluation on the motion. So maybe this is in the mannerism, I suppose. So like I just noticed, I will preempt. Toastmaster Mark is like having this fun of doing this hand. So maybe that's one thing that this Toastmaster is taking down notes about. So please welcome the and motion evaluator, Toastmaster Juliet Kabatingan.
Hi, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And my role for tonight was to observe all the verbal crutches that each speaker will utter during the course of the meeting. And I'm telling you, what I'm going to report is not a deep fake, but it's a real observation and not just a fake opinion. So for the whole duration of the meeting, we had a total of 35 filler words. That comprises of long pause, repetitive word, and the motion detector. And the breakdown of that, we have 16 ums, 16 6 ums, 6 long pauses, 5 repetitive words, and 2 motions, unnecessary motions. And a further breakdown of that coming from the Toastmasters themselves. 6 long pauses from TM Jeff, 1 from Nikki, 3 1 and 1 repetitive words from DTM Christine, total of 5. So 1 from TM Elise, 2 repetitive words from TM Armel, 3 ums, 3 1 and 2 repetitive word from GE Susit, 5 or 6 from 6 and 4 ums from TM Chris Sevillejo. And from TM Mark, we have 2 us. And the motion detector goes to TM Beth, doing something like that and like that during speaking. Don't get offended. It's just an observation for us to improve in our future delivery of speech. I may be not the best police for tonight's meeting, but for sure you have to watch out because someone would do better in catching those filler words during the delivery of your speeches. Back to you, GS Susit.
I thought you did it so well. That was quite a number of violations or utterances you caught. So, so motions, yeah, mannerism. And I just thought maybe a necessary motion includes the looking up or looking down while you're thinking of what to say. So, thank you so much for that report. Honest report, not fake. So let's proceed to our time reporter. I wonder how many times over time how long of sorry. How much time I've used as a general evaluator. Let's hear it from Toastmaster Ana Aborde.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Let me share my screen. And first of all, happy to see everyone. The new members might not have known, but I've been with Toastmasters for at least more than a year already. But I had an 18-month hiatus because of study. But here I am going back to Meycauayan Toastmasters because I missed this one, and it's been a pleasure to be part of Meycauayan Toastmasters before, and happy to be here. So as your um timer evaluation, my role is really to time all of the let me check that all of the table topics, formal speeches, and the evaluations, just to ensure that we are on time. Because as one of the wise men said, according to Google, was time is the most valuable thing a man can spend on, and that is also the same in our speeches. Because as we all know, the way we speak, and we only have very limited time to capture an audience attention, and we only have limited time to give out the most important part of our topic or speeches. So as you can see, in behalf of Excel, because I'm more comfortable with Excel than PowerPoint, we can see that most are actually read, but the evaluation, and I do kudos all of our evaluators because most are on time. I do apologize that I missed out the last 2 evaluation, but all of that just only emphasizes that there is still room for improvement as always, but we should not be discouraged, but rather be encouraged to perform better in the future, because as we all know, there's always room for improvement. But I do want to commend again all of our evaluations. So far, based on my experience, this is the best evaluators that I have seen in terms of time allocations, and actually in terms of evaluation. Thank you so much. Back to you, GEC.
Oh, welcome back. You mentioned your 18-month hiatus. Wow. So I'm so happy to witness your coming back, and I appreciate your very comprehensive time report. I love it that even if you're a technical reporter, you still delivered your report in a mini speech. So kudos to you. Congratulations, and hope you will not be absent anymore. So the ones left to evaluate is the Toastmaster of the evening. Hi, distinguished Toastmaster Rose.
Almost distinguished.
Very well prepared with the fake hairstyle. Yes, very interesting. You know, I can see you're not just prepared with your spills or script, but also with your costume. I love your introduction because I usually watch the Is It Cake program in Netflix. I love that. So I could really well relate and so engrossed in your introduction, the game that you had at the start. I loved it. And I just have one observation to improve on. I have met you many times and I've witnessed you giggle. I know you're a jolly person, but I just realized today that your soft and low voice is something that you could work on. So, because as a personal observation tonight, I felt that you had this specific tone bordering on monotony, something like that. But so maybe a suggestion is that you could adjust the volume of your audio next time and to exert more effort on applying vocal variety, because other than that, you really did well tonight. You performed all the roles. You run the meeting so well, enthusiastically. And then you mentioned every necessary details, introduction of the participants, introduction of the portions, and you even had the complete details of the prepared speeches tonight. So it's just your voice, Toastmaster Rose. So and all in all, I love it that I witnessed your being a Toastmaster of the evening tonight. And I'm looking forward to what game you do in your closing spiel. But so a round of applause to all the participants in our meeting tonight. And I am very honored to join Meycauayan Toastmasters Club for the very first time. And I hope you invite me again. So I believe we enjoyed, I personally enjoyed, and the the high point of attending your meeting tonight is meeting Toastmasters for the first time. So I know a few, but all the rest, it's my first time listening and meeting you. So I am so happy I took the chance to be here. And that is not fake. That's really sincere. And I also love cake. So that's an info about me. I hope to see you all again. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Susit, for leading our general evaluation, for giving us your insights, tips, and you're an inspiration to us as well. Let me share my screen one last time. And before I let you go or let this finish, there is truth and there is fact. But in a world of deep fakes, even those can be blurred. While deepfakes showcase the heights of art and creativity and technology, they can also challenge our values, ethics, and morals. As critical thinkers here in Toastmasters, we must remain vigilant. Discernment now is not just a skill, it is our responsibility. And as Abraham Lincoln said, never trust anything you see on the internet. This has been Rose Paga, your Toastmaster of the evening. Great, thank you. And for that, I will return the control to our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Mark.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose and distinguished Toastmaster Susit. To our general evaluator, we do not have the highlight of our previous meeting in the newsletter, but we have the link of our video meeting episode. So this will be aired on Monday. This episode will be aired on Monday. To our prepared speakers, you may now send your digital evaluation forms to your assigned evaluators. To the evaluators, you may now complete and send the digital evaluation form to your assigned speakers. And prepared speakers, please mark your speech projects as completed right after this meeting. Congratulations to our new level completers. Toastmaster Oscar for completing level 1 of the effective coaching path, and Toastmaster Rose for completing level 5 of the presentation mastery path. As of April 8, 2025, the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has achieved perfect 10 DCP goals for the current term. In line with this, the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club attained 30 education awards from different members. This in turn garnered the current term 2024 to 2025 the highest number of education awards for the past 15 years. These are lists of our target level completers before the current Toastmaster term ends. The Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has a roadmap for the progress of our members. This is the list of our target DTMs or Distinguished Toastmasters for the rest of the decade, in time for the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's 40th anniversary in 2031. As part of our term end celebration, the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club will recognize our fellow Toastmasters, both seasoned and new joiners, on their achievements in communication, leadership, education, and mentorship. By shining a spotlight on the individual and collective achievements, the club envisions to strengthen its bond and set the stage for the next generation of impactful leaders and communicators. Even our guest general evaluators have the opportunity to grab the Best General Evaluator in the Guest category award in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's most prestigious award-giving body. This is the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club first Diamond Gavel Awards night, and on June 24, 2025, Tuesday at 7 p.m. via Zoom, with the delayed webcast of the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club on the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's official Facebook page. The 28-day book writing online course is now available. It contains online lecture videos that you may access 24/7. There will also be group coaching sessions once a month and unlimited individual email coaching for 1 year. To those who are interested to unleash the book author in you through the 28-day book writing online course, feel free to approach me. Now, let us greet our very own Area Director, Sedi, a happy birthday this April. Our next educational meeting will be on April 22, 2025 at 7 p.m. The theme will be conglomerates, as we will learn how business tycoons work and act in a board meeting. This will be hosted by Toastmaster Juliet as our Toastmaster for that evening. We will not be having our WMS or Weekend Mentoring session on April 19 to give way to Holy Week. That's why our next WMS will be on May 3 at 2 p.m. via Zoom. The Weekend Mentoring session is open to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club members. Ihanda ang mga sarili at ang mga talumpati sa darating na club level patimpalak sa wikang Filipino. 4 na kategorya ang ating paglalaban-labanan para sa nasabing patimpalak. ang paksang panghapag, pagsusuri at pagpapahalaga, ang nakatatawang talumpati at ang pamukaw na talumpati. Ito ay isang paghahanda at pagsasanay sa maaaring dumating na interclub patimpalak sa wikang Filipino sa Agosto. Gaganapin ang ating club level patimpalak sa ating team building sa darating na Mayo. To our viewers on our social media platform, we invite you to join us to our regular educational meetings every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 to 9:30 p.m. This is done online via Zoom. Admission is free, and follow us on our official social media accounts. For more personal and professional lessons about communication and leadership, download the previous issues of the Toast, the official e-newsletter of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Download it for free by scanning the QR code at your screen. Technology emerges every single day. Today, data are everywhere. Even your heartbeats are now part of data. Because your data and information are everywhere without you even knowing it, be vigilant because every pixel in your photo and every sample in your voice data can be maliciously used to gain infamous attention for any selfish reason. Fellow Toastmasters, see you next meeting. This is your Vice President for Education, Mark Andrada, and this is the family that rises and leads with competence and confidence. This is Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Back to you, President Jeff.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mark. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our guest general evaluator, TM Susi. Thank you so much for gracing our meeting tonight and being here in Meycauayan Toastmasters. We love to see your glow in our screen. Thank you so much, TM Susi.
And TM Susi,
and
your hand.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to take this opportunity also to say hi to our guest, Mr. Fortunato Servano.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Fortunato. May we get your feedback for our meeting tonight?
Yes, thank you very much. I enjoyed watching and listening. By the way, I'm Fortunato Servano, about 64-year-old. So I would like to express my thanks to my cousin Elise for encouraging me join this Toastmaster. Hope this be the beginning and not the end. As a senior citizen, a member, I still believe that some improvements coming in. Thank you very much. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Sir Fortunato. As you said, learning has no age limit. Thank you, Elise, for inviting Mr. Fortunato. And I would like to have your contact details to contact you and send you our membership form. Thank you, Mr. Fortunato. And Sir Mar, how are you? Sir Mar has sent us suggested a resort for our incoming Toastmasters summer outing on May 24. During this time, we'll also conduct our patimpalak para sa pagtatalumpati, which will be led by none other than our VP distinguished Toastmaster Mark. Sir Mark, chat tayo regarding about the resort.
So far, the only feasible resort that emerges is one in San Fernando because it is open to a half-day arrangement. And well, if we are not exceeding 12, we can probably have it can probably be packed in one van. And if it is San Fernando, then it is certainly advantageous to our Toastmaster Juliet.
Yeah, so near Toastmaster Juliet, we can have coffee after our summer outing, right? TM Juliet. So TM Juliet is
no problem.
For that.
Welcome.
Right. So I'll have to tabulate first the options, and then I will present it to our officers before we conclude with the venue of our summer outing. So while Mark is crafting the program, I hope to see you all on our summer outing on May 24th. So thank you all for our role takers, speakers, and guests who made this meeting a success. Thank you very much. You have shared, we have shared, and you have shared us your lessons. And as Toastmasters, let's continue to improve ourselves in communicating and in leading people and organizations. So by the trust vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I now adjourn this meeting. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Madam Kiki, do you
Hi.
have something to
Okay,
say?
I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the president and vice president to register for the business meeting, council meeting, and for the election. And I hope you also help share this information sa mga ka-area nyo. Yun lang. See you in Cebu!
See you.
See you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Direk
Thank
Susi.
you all. Good night.
Christine,
Bye-bye,
thank you.
everybody.